Cooking dinner while I'm talking to you. What ended up happening is when I was outside, let me move this thing back a little bit more so we can see more of each other. Anyhow, when I was outside, the phone died when I was in the middle of having a conversation with you guys. I'm trying to get this to where there's no glare. Get her in the picture. So basically, my deal here is that I'm embarrassed by a lot of the stuff that's going on in the keto community lately. I'm embarrassed that we've put so much of our time, effort, and energy into people when, in the grand scheme of things, we don't even really know what's going on. We don't know if they're being honest with us. We don't know if what they're telling us is going to benefit us like they said. I've often questioned people along the way. And what are you doing, Chica? I've often questioned people along the way, and come to find out they're not being. Hello, Michelle. They're not being completely honest with us. I've talked to some of the providers and stuff that provide the supplementation, the dressings, um, the products and stuff for keto and things like that in private conversations, and things come up and like, hey, this weekend it was odd. I saw Dr. So and so and this person sitting down, and they weren't having anything outside of standard American food. They were literally sitting down to Italian beef sandwiches and pizza and everything else, and just having a good old grand time. And I'm not saying everybody has to be keto, but if you claim that that's how you live your lifestyle, then maybe that's how you should live your lifestyle, instead of being fictitious about it, putting on a facade, but then behind the scenes not doing exactly what you say you're doing. And there's been on more than one occasion where I have gotten information from people that were at these seminars, actually took pictures of other people mingling and kind of sitting down and talking with each other and stuff like that, and then sending those pictures to me and saying, hey, check this out. I know you just got a bunch of flack for the video you made when I was talking about so and so, but it turns out that you were correct. I saw that person with another person on this cruise, and this is what they were doing. And they sent me a picture of like where they had the phone in front of their chest, taking a picture of the person doing exactly what I said they were doing. The type of person they are. I'm calling them out on that kind of BS and stuff like that. And people think I'm a bad guy for doing it, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why people don't want to know the truth. When I speak about things, if I speak about it, it's because I've gotten some kind of information on it, or I've seen it for myself, or I've experienced it for myself. I don't just pull it out of thin air and then feed it to people. I think there's a lot of stuff in the keto community in general that people buy into. I think there's like the really, really highly marketed stuff, like people that really buy into supplementation and things like that, and that want to make loads of money off people while they can, because they honestly think a year, 2 years, 3 years from now that keto won't be as popular as it is now, that it's going to follow that bell curve like it always has, where it starts to increase in popularity and then fall off, then increase, then fall off, then increase and fall off. If you look at the last 20 years, that's exactly what's happened. You can even go probably beyond that. That's exactly what happened. And it'll increase and decrease, and it does it over and over again. And people want to be on the part of that increase, so they grab as much of the monetization as possible before it starts to decrease again, hoping that that bell curve will start all over again. But then you've had the people that have been doing it for 20 years that aren't in it for monetization. They're not in it for supplementation and products and taking your money. They just put out their own good hard-earned work. Like Maria Emmerich, she researches, she does stuff, she coaches people, she gets her experience through live actually doing it, and then she puts out a book, a product, something that she's done the work for. Not just piggybacking everybody else's work and then putting it out as if people should trust her. Come pay me, come trust me, come to my seminar, come do this, come do that. And that's not necessarily the case. I get a kick out of it. I get a kick out of it that I click on a YouTube video and it's another product. another bar, another sauce, another this, another that. Oh my God, this is changing in my life. Check it out. Click on my video, and all of a sudden you've got to wait 10 minutes into the video just to get the information out, when that's not what you were there for. You weren't there for all that stuff in the beginning. If I put out a video talking about something that's going on in my life, it's right up front. I don't want people to have to wait 10 minutes into a video to figure out what I'm talking about. I just think it's silly, all the clickbait stuff that's going on. I think it's silly about all the supplementation and stuff people are promoting. And I think it's really funny when there are people that put so much of their effort into one doctor or one person that they follow so well, that when somebody else talks bad about them, they get offended by it. They get so offended by it that they want to bash the person that's giving their honest opinion or telling the truth about it. People don't want to know the truth. And I'm telling you that right now. I'm being straightforward with you right now. People do not want the truth. They want you to tell them what they want to hear. They want you to snowflake it, sugarcoat it, powder puff it, syrup on top of it, sprinkle that sugar all over it. That's what they want. They want their feelings completely protected and defended in every regard, because they do not want you to tell them the truth or what's going on, or that there's an easier way, or you're wasting your money taking that supplement. There's a lady on YouTube here. Her name is Lulu Nutrition Goddess. She got 17 subscribers. She's had 17 subscribers for over a year now, because she claims that she's this person that is all about your health, your wellness, and everything else. People don't watch her stuff. People know she's full of crap. People know that she wants to sell products. People know that she does not have the knowledge. Now all of a sudden she's an integrated practitioner, but last week she wasn't. There's a lot of people out there like that claim to be this type of professional that are nowhere near a professional in any regard. Because you take a couple online classes and get a certificate in the mail that says you're an integrated practitioner, or because you've taken 4 months of this or that and you've completed it, doesn't mean that you have the experience to give other people nutritional knowledge. Or you can speak of it as an opinion, but there are a lot of people out there that don't do that. People don't do the homework to actually figure out exactly what's going on. They don't want to know what they're being lied to about, because it would almost make them feel bad. It would almost make them feel like they've wasted their time. Let's go over here and flip these fresh sausages straight from the butcher. I stopped by the butcher and I grabbed that 15-pound ribeye roast, and I'm cooking some sausages at the same time while I'm talking to you guys. There we go. So, kind of where I'm going with this is somebody asked me a question about, like I said earlier, when my phone died and the video ended, somebody asked me a question like, why are you talking badly about the keto community? Because I like the people. I like working one-on-one with people. I like helping people figure out their problems and stuff like that. What I don't like is I don't like the people that get up in front of the screen and they call themselves a professional. I could call out 1,000 different people right now, and people would be offended by what I have to say. People would honestly be super offended by what I have to say just by openly speaking about actual factual stuff that happened. You guys know I've spoke about Dr. Berry many times. It's not even a new thing anymore. You know that I don't too much care for the guy. You know that a lot of small issues have arose and stuff like that with people, with me being used in the process of promoting big names, and then them them making promises and not following through on their end. It's no secret. I mean, it is what it is. Um, Dr. Paul Saladino, I love the guy. Absolutely phenomenal information, great attitude, good looking dude, nice face for carnivore and stuff like that. I found Dr. Paul Saladino when he had like 250 subscribers. And I was like, wow, he explains things different than any other doctor does. Any other doctor. He's got it more, he's more in tune with what's going on, right? So I said, hey, Dr. Paul, I really like your stuff. I've been sharing it. I'm a YouTube creator as well. I've got substantially more followers than you at the time. And I would love to talk about you and promote you. Would you mind coming onto my keto group and actually talking to my people on my keto group? He said, sure, I'd love to do that. Comes on the keto group. Me and him talk back and forth. No big deal. Does about a 40-minute session where he talks to everybody and gives people a lot of good information. I says, okay, man. Hey, thanks. I'm going to try to get your word out there and spread and make you as big as I possibly can because I really believe in what you have to say. Okay, so 600 people a week later, 800 people 2 weeks later, 2 months later, 3,000 people. And it's people like me that help people like that spread, right? I said, don't forget about me when you get bigger. Don't forget about me. You know, let's do some more of these. I'm really pushing your stuff heavily because I believe in you. Oh, no, I won't forget about you. I won't forget about you. Oh, I won't forget about you. Yeah, let's do some more live interviews. Let me get on your group and talk to your people. I really appreciate everything. Thank you for defending me in the comment section. Thank you for always notifying me when people are bad-mouthing me on my YouTube videos and stuff like that. You really got my back. I really appreciate you. You're a really good dude. And then he started recommending my keto group. Like, people show up and be like, look, this dude is just like straight 100% truthful, regardless if he likes what you have to say or not. He's going to tell you the truth, or at least what he believes. Go check his group out. Well, people were coming, 10, 15, 20, a day. Sometimes that could be, 50 to 100 in a day because of him mentioning my group. I kept pushing his stuff. I said, hey, we got an interview coming up. Didn't make it. Hey, we got a thing coming up on our group. Didn't make it. And then I see this trending stuff on Instagram and Joe Rogan or Mark Bell and all these other people. And then they get so big so fast that I'm sure they don't mean to do it. They forget about you. They forget about you, and you're nobody to them anymore. You just were a stepping stone in the growth of the direction that they want to go. And you don't get messages from them anymore. You don't get thought of anymore. You can do all the work in the world to really, really help somebody succeed. Dr. Berry, same thing. He was at 2,000 people. I had at the time, 7 or 8 different keto groups going on. I was part of another group where I was working, run a group that had 17,000 people at the time. And I said, you know what? I could really help this guy get out there. Same thing, 2,000 subscribers, push his information as much as possible, share it to all my different groups and stuff like that. And I'm pushing. Comes on one time, does an interview with me, didn't teach me anything that I really didn't know already. I had already covered most of the things he talked about. My group didn't learn too much, but they thought he was a good person to listen to, and he had some good information to put out, so why not support him? I thought the same thing, 100%. Missed interviews, missed times, missed appointments, can't do this, can't do that, I'm busy with this, I'm busy with that, forget about you. Don't ever come back. Don't check on you. Just say, hey, thanks for helping me out. Thanks for helping me grow. Thanks for helping me get out there. You really made an impact on me becoming bigger in social media and getting this good information out. Nothing. Not appreciative at all. Zero. None. Nada. Zilch. You know who was the most honorable out of all this so far? And you guys are going to be surprised, but probably not surprised about this. Bart K. Bart K has been my buddy for over a year now. He was on my keto group. Nobody really knew about him. 200 people. Me and him, we had our differences sometimes because Bart is a really upfront person. He will tell you exactly what's on his mind. He does not sugarcoat anything. In the sense, he's like me times 2. Like, he doesn't care. And he's got all the knowledge and science stuff that I don't have when it comes to the medical stuff and everything else. The dude is a freaking genius. And he has been the most real out of the entire group of people that I've ever tried to help, spread, talk about anything. Bart reaches out to me. Bart checks up on me and says, hey, bud, I really appreciate you. I just wanted to check in on you, see how things are going. how's life, how's things like that. You want to get together? Do you want to do a live interview? You want to talk about any kind of keto stuff? You want me to answer some questions people in your group might want answered? Is there anything that you want to cover? I'd be willing to do that. And Bart's very busy. He's doing podcast stuff with Human Performance Outliers. He's talking to all these different people and stuff like that. But he doesn't forget about you. He knows the value in people trying to help spread the information. He knows that it's not you that can do it alone. You need people. And that's what I respect about him. That's what I respect about him the most. He doesn't claim to be, oh, I'm better than everybody else. He's just real. He doesn't care. He's just real. Of course he wants to grow on social media. But you know what he does? He has a Patreon, and I'm sure he has PayPal or whatever. I mean, I don't get into all that. But people go to him for the scientific information. The research, the studies, they want to know about why this does this, why that does that. Why do I have this kind of condition whenever I go to the gym and my muscles are hurting for days afterwards or whatever? He can answer that kind of stuff. That's his thing. People are paying for what they get. He's not giving you the same regurgitated information over and over and over and over again. It's always something different. It might be about a vegan. It might be about a lie that a doctor's spreading. It might be about some kind of science. Let's talk about how muscles contract and release, how acid buildup, uric acid can build up in the muscles, what's going on with this deficiency and this thyroid condition. He talks about that stuff. And he does it for like a half hour and a half at a time. He puts everything into it. That's a guy that is definitely more deserving of more support than what he's got. I can see that. I can see that type of stuff. But these other people, man, I don't see that kind of work in them. I don't see that kind of drive. I don't see that kind of motivation and stuff. I see people paying for a face and a big name and a nice fancy words. When Barack Obama became president, I was in Iraq in 2008, and I was listening to Barack Obama talk. And it was Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. And I thought to myself, I'm not voting for Hillary no matter what. I will not vote for Hillary. But I started listening to Barack Obama. And it's almost like he drew me in with that silver tongue. He said all the things that I wanted to hear. He said everything that I wanted taken care of. He was going to work for the vets. He was going to do everything else. He told me exactly what I wanted to hear. And I believed it. And it didn't happen. My benefits got cut by 30% 2 years later. A lot of the school education and stuff in Chicago that was supposed to get done never got done. Michelle wanted to implement new nutrition programs so teenagers could learn more about the food and stuff. Now, regardless, he was my president. I'm going to respect him no matter what. He's the commander-in-chief. I was a soldier at the time. I must listen. I must obey, and I must do what my commander-in-chief says to do and support him regardless of any situation. That's what I did. But that's because I had to. That was my job. He was the President of the United States. Dr. Berg is not the President of the United States. Dr. Berry is not the President of the United States. I don't care what doctor or who you follow, they're not the President of the United States. You're not obligated to defend them 100% regardless if they're right or wrong. Now, you may have got some nutritional advice from one of them that has changed your life, but there's that same advice out by 30,000 other people that are giving the same bit of advice. They didn't come up with that. It's advice that was already out there. So people ask me, why are you against the keto community? Because 70% of the keto community are fake as hell. They're fake. They're out here pushing products. They're trying to make money off of it. They're turning it into something that it's not. You know what I make money off of? Every once in a while, somebody will buy a blood ketone meter, something that they need, something that they have to have if they're worried about their ketone and sugar levels getting out of control. I might make $5, $10 off that every month because that's a product that people need if they're worried about stuff. I'm not pushing protein bars and keto this and keto that and everything else. Come on, guys. It's ridiculous. If I'm going to do that kind of stuff, I'm going to make my own product. I'm not going to push somebody else's. Excuse me. I almost slipped up and started cursing again. I'm not going to push somebody else's product. If I'm doing that, it's going to be my product. It's going to be what I've put into it. It's going to be my money that I put into it. I'm not trusting somebody else's stuff. It's not going to happen. So I just don't understand all this. Why do I talk against the keto community? Because there's a lot of fake ass people in the keto community. There's a lot of people that want you to buy stuff. They want you to believe that they're this. They want you to believe they're the president of keto. They want you to believe that they're the commander in chief and you must listen to them. There's 1,000 different ways to do something. But there's only one right way for you to do it. Your way. I'm just burnt out by it. I'm burnt out by everything. I'm burnt out by all the so-called professionals and the so-called expert advice. I follow my own stuff, my own way of doing it. I follow my own way of helping people. I don't even talk about general recommendations that were put out by doctors and stuff like that on other keto groups. I'm never going to be invited to a speaking seminar because people know that I will tell the truth 100%, and that's not what's going to happen. I reach out to somebody in the keto space and I asked them, I said, hey, I found out some information and I'd like to share it and talk about it, and it's some bad stuff on somebody. What do you think? And their response to me was, I don't think you should get involved. I don't think you should say anything at all. I think you should just be quiet. Well, little did I know the person that I had information on was going to be speaking for them a week later, and then 2 weeks after that, and 2 weeks after that. Isn't it funny? The people that we trust the most are the ones that are the biggest snakes in the grass. Shocked me. Shocked me because, and I'm always going to be that way, Kim. I'm always going to be that way. No matter what. I'm not perfect in what I do. I don't even eat keto perfect all the time or carnivore perfect all the time. I'll go for periods 3 or 4 weeks at a time now because my life is so crazy where I do everything perfect. I do carnivore absolutely 100%, no junk, no additives, no nothing. And then I might have a week where I'm just like, you know what? I want a burrito. I don't care. I don't have to fit this stigmatism or this standard, or I don't have to fit this crowd or whatever. I'm a normal person, a human being. I want to go eat a burrito. And I go have a burrito. And if people don't like it, it's too damn bad. Just like me and Angie were talking last night. She said, am I always going to have to eat clean every time I'm with you all the time? I said, no, you're not. You're not always going to have to eat clean. But I would like for us to try to do it the majority of the time. But if you feel like going out and having nachos or chips and salsa at the local Hispanic place, then let's do it. Let's go. Shit, nobody tells me how I'm going to run my life and live my life. But if you go on social media and you tell people that's what you do, every once in a while you go out and enjoy yourself and you don't worry about keto or carnivore or carbs or sugar or anything, oh my God, you're the devil. You're the devil. You can't do that. That's not okay. Now you're influencing other people. No, I'm not. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm not telling nobody else to do it at all. Zero. So there's a lot of fake people. Lots of fake people. Couple stories for you real quick before we get off here, because I don't want this to last a long time. I want to turn this meat off and take it off the burner. So these so-called professionals and these people that you're paying for these diet programs and everything else, right? These people that you guys are getting meal plans from and everything else. Do you know how many times I've been on their channel, on their groups, partaking in their information, helping them come up with these plans and these meals? You know how many times I've had to go behind the scenes and correct them and say, hey, wait a second, that's not, you need to change that meal. That's not a keto-friendly food. And you're not explaining how that works correctly. This is how it works. This is what goes together with that. You got too much protein in that meal, and it's not a balanced meal. It's not going to work for some people. You need to correct that. You need to bring the ratios back down or put this into perspective or something like that. And they do it. Or I catch them in the middle of making a meal and say, hey, you know what's in that product, right? I don't even have to look. I can go through the store and tell you in the ingredients that's in almost every single product on the shelf, whether it's good or not. No problem. Look at the videos that I do where I walk through the store and look at the products. Some of you have been following me for years where I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning walking through Walmart trying to find new products that are okay for you to have free, taking my time out to educate other people, and in the process of doing that, educating myself. I can walk through the store and say, no, that's not going to work. That's got soy oil, that's got canola oil, that's got black beans in it. No, that's too many carbs, or you know what, that might fit, but if you're a person that overdoes it, you're not going to want to do that because that's easily something that you can go over on. And I've had to correct these people. And I've been in the middle of watching them make one of their videos and say, hey, just private message them real quick while they're doing the video. The product that you just used in the video has got some dextrose in it. It's got maltodextrin in it. It's got this in it. It's got that in it. You need to watch it if you're going to be showing people that on your video. And they message me back, oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. I had no idea. I didn't even know. I mean, guys, come on. I mean, when you've got people that do a phenomenal job of putting out really, really, really good information, that they're not even known. They don't even have that many followers and stuff like that because they're not flashy, or they don't have an MD in front of their name, or they don't have highly edited videos with drones flying above the buildings and the cool, calm music and stuff like that. To hell with all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. But that's what people are into. I like to get right to the video. Let's talk. Let's talk about what's going on. If I make an edited video, it's usually about food or something like that, so I can present it a little bit better. But then most of the time you guys see it's my crappy videos on this phone where I just make my food right in front of you. I don't care. People get on me all the time. Oh, your nails are dirty, your hands are dirty when you're cooking. Well, then don't watch my cooking video. This stuff tastes good to me. I love the taste of it. I lick my fingers right in front of the video screen. I don't care. I don't fit in with the rest of the keto crowd because I'm not going to be part of that nonsense. I'm not going to be part of the mass production and then claiming keto is going to be the savior to all. It's not even the case. Like I said earlier when I was talking in a video when a phone died, keto is not the answer for everybody. There's a lot of people that I work with that have to have upwards of 75 to 100, 125 grams of carbs per day, and they're more low carb than they are keto, just for the simple fact that their hormones are regulated better that way. Just different strokes for different folks. Different things work for different people. I'm never going to get in front of this screen again and do what I used to do when I tried to fit into the crowd and I tried to make it seem like keto was the answer for everything, carnivore was the answer for everything. It's not even the case. It's not even the case. There's a friend of mine was keto for about 9 months. He lost about 50 pounds. He kind of stalled out for a while. And he went and tried a Mediterranean diet. He lost 9 pounds the first week he went to the Mediterranean diet. He switched his diet for 1 week just to shake things up a little bit and lost 9 pounds. His body was so used to doing the same thing over and over and over and over again that it adapted to that lifestyle. So by him shaking it up and going to a Mediterranean diet, he's given himself a new venue away from the keto space to figure out what works for him. That works for him. He's got a lot of control. He's a very strong person, and he could say yes and no when he wants to. He doesn't have a food addiction like most people do. But then you get the old ladies and stuff that follow the doctors and the nutritionists and the dietitians and stuff like that, and they swear by them. Dr. So-and-so has saved my life. I'm never going to let somebody talk bad about him, and then they hear me talk, and they're like, oh my God, I got to tell this guy he's a flippin' idiot because he doesn't agree, and he's talking against him, and that's not the right thing to do, and this guy saved my life, so I need to defend him. No, you don't. The information that he gave you was not the information that he came up with. He used somebody else's information to feed it to you. And it's the same thing I do. I experiment with stuff. The next person, the next video channel you go to, they experiment with stuff. We get the information from people that have done the research before. But then we can give you some tricks and tips that we've learned along the way. But the majority of stuff that all these creators have learned it's all from somebody else. It's not from them. They didn't create it. They don't have a lab where they're studying their lipid panels and they could pay for $500 cholesterol tests every time something pops up. It's not what happens. They get the information from other people. So the reason I'm not for the keto space completely, and I often talk against it, is because I feel like it's such a huge cult-like movement now. It's bastardized, it's highly marketed, everybody's a keto professional, everybody's got a scam ad, everybody's got a keto pill, and now people are more and more making exceptions for the highly processed keto foods because it's clean. But now we're turning keto into the same damn standard American way of doing things that we had before, and now we're adapting that way to keto, and then we're making it seem, oh, it's because it's clean products. It's clean products, so that you can't be mad at people for eating clean processed keto products. The hell I can. It still affects your blood sugar and insulin levels similarly to where the same as a standard American diet does. Anytime you're taking yourself away from whole clean foods and you're eating highly processed foods, which we all do sometimes, we're human, it's there. What I urge a lot of you to do is to stop, just quit asking for people to give you recommendations for everything. Jump on Google. There's a video for everything. There's a recommendation for everything. There's a recipe for everything. There's a food for everything. There's an answer to a deficiency question for everything. There is everything on Google. You don't have to go to a keto group or a YouTube channel or somebody else and say, look, I'm craving some kind of sweet keto, this and that. Tell me what's up. Jump on Google and actually type in keto treat. You're going to find homemade. You're going to find processed. You're going to find them on Amazon. You're going to find them at Maker's Mark, and you're going to find Market Best and all this other stuff. You're going to find it all over the place. There's an answer for everything. But to get involved with, oh yeah, here's my link code. Here's my 15% code off or whatever. So you just keep feeding that nonsense and putting more and more and more and more processed keto garbage out there. You know, I couldn't help but to notice a lot of the people that post all the stuff on almond butter and peanut butter and cashew butter and all this other stuff. Do you not realize the omega ratios in that stuff is nowhere near kosher? Do you not realize that if you look at the omega ratios in a serving of peanut or peanut butter that's keto friendly or something like that, the omega ratios are something like 15,000 to 20,000 to like 1, 2, 3. There's almost no omega-3s to omega-6. So if you do value anything when it comes to science and you do believe any of what it says, we know that high omega-6 count versus omega-3 is very inflammatory. It's a very pro-inflammatory food, but yet we go buy into these products. And we go, you know, I want to go buy this keto fat bomb and this keto processed bar and stuff like that. And they're using the very things that are super high in omega-6 concentration, and they don't have a balanced fat to protein ratio at all. So while it may control your appetite, you're going ahead and jacking up those CRP levels, your C-reactive protein levels, and increasing the inflammatory reaction inside the body in general by eating these foods that are nowhere near balanced, nowhere near. And I'm guilty of that. I've done that before, and I know what I'm doing, and I definitely feel it after I do it. I've been eating really clean for so long that my body reacts to peanut butter even though I love it. Not in a what do you call it? Not in a like allergic way, but the next day my joints ache, my muscles ache, I don't sleep very good, I've got a headache and stuff like that. Why is that? It's all the anti-nutrients and stuff like that. I'm starting to realize that a lot of these carnivores that talk about how bad vegetables and nuts and things like that can be for you, I don't do very good on a ketogenic diet overall. Like I did when I was new because I was cleaning out all the junk, but I didn't realize how much better I could feel when I started reducing all that stuff in my diet. All the nuts and the greens and the kales and all this other stuff, I don't feel good on that stuff. There's a ton of anti-nutrients. And if you like Maria Emmerich and Craig Emmerich, Craig just put out a post the other day talking about the anti-nutrients and oxalates and stuff that you find in what's like a mango or I don't know, maybe avocado, or I don't know what it was, but they're big giant crystallized bars that you can see under a microscope. Those are the things that cause, kidney issues and stuff like that, inflammatory response. Those are the things that um, can really cause some problems with people that have kidney problems and things of that nature. So, they've got information coming out. I would have never thought that Maria Emmerich and Craig Emmerich would ever talk bad about vegetables, but they've actually got information coming out where they're going to be talking about that. So, you know, let's look back at time in time. Let's look back when Dr. Berry came on scene. Dr. Berry came on scene and he was a ketogenic doctor and stuff like that. Started coming on board, really running a ketogenic protocol. A lot of people coming on board with him. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Shawn Baker pops up with the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet's been around for a long time, but Shawn Baker's thought of as more of like the kind of father of carnivore, speaking out openly about it. And about that time when he started blowing up, more and more and more people were starting to speak up about the carnivore diet. Well, get up here. Get up here and lay down. Come on. Stop. Get up here. Come on. Lay down. Put all that crying stuff. So Shawn Baker comes along and he starts talking about the carnivore diet. And then all of a sudden, here we go. Everybody starts jumping on the carnivore diet. Yeah, I know everybody's going to say Frank T was doing it before Shawn Baker. I don't really care for him either. So it doesn't matter. I don't really care for the guy. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. You guys already know. A lot of you already know how I feel. I don't really care for him. So then Dr. Berry says he wants to try carnivore diet. So he does carnivore diet for 30 days and he feels great. Feels better than he did on keto. Well, then he starts a 30-day challenge, 30-day carnivore challenge. Then people are messaging me like crazy, like, oh my God, he's a traitor. Why is he doing this? Why all of a sudden is he turning his back on keto and he's going to all these meat products? And I put out a video defending him, saying, look, guys, it's not what he's saying. He even commented on the video. The only time he ever commented on one of my videos was the one where I was really defending him, saying that's not what he said. He said, why don't you give it a 30-day try? And if you like it, you continue. If you don't, you don't. He's not forcing anybody to do it. He's not talking bad about keto or any of that. So he popped up on the video and he says, absolutely spot on, 100%. You nailed, you put the nail in the coffin. Thank you for doing that. Basically, thank you for defending me. Well, then people are like, what's his deal? He went from keto, now he's carnivore, now he's talking at all these keto seminars and stuff like that, but yet he's still on a carnivorous diet. Maybe he has some things, sometimes he's admitted that he has some things sometimes outside of carnivore, but mostly carnivore. And then people are like, well, I feel betrayed. Okay, so we move on from there. And then you have Dr. Bird with his 7 to 10 cups of vegetables, because he's the biggest, most professional one out there. He's got the most 3 million followers and all this other stuff. He's been doing it the longest, so he's got all the answers for everything. Well, everybody needs to have 7 to 10 cups of vegetables and these anti-nutrients and these oxalates and everything else. And then you got Thomas DeLauer popping up with all his ads and videos all over the place talking about if you eat too much bacon, you're not doing keto right. And if you eat too much beef, you're not doing keto right. And if you're not eating grass-fed, grass-finished, the most top-quality $27 a pound steak in the world, you're not doing keto right, okay? So then we move on from there. And you get Drew Manning that pops up. Again, same style ads. You're eating too much bacon, you're not doing keto right. You're eating too many eggs, that's not keto. You need more vegetables and more avocado and more blah, 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 fuckity blah. Seriously. Everybody's got an answer for everything. Everybody's got the explanation. Everybody says they know how to do keto better than the next and carnivore better than the next. And sometimes I just want to tell them all to go blow it out there. And I just get to the point where I'm just like, shut up. Every one of them, shut up. Just stop. Just eat whole food keto and just shut your mouth and just, that's how you do keto. You put butter on stuff, you put salt on stuff, and you eat whole food keto. You eat plenty of meat and you just become happy. And you make babies, and you live long lives. That's how you do keto. And it's what I don't understand about these fools sometimes when they say I got the answer for everything. It's another marketing strategy to get people to jump on and, oh, believe me, and you're not doing keto right, or go follow Dr. Keto Emma, so she gives you 6,000 pounds of vegetables and you get no protein from animal sources at all. But then you get some vegan doctor that pops up out of nowhere and he claims that he's got the answer for everything. So it's stupid, guys. It's really stupid. Figure out what works for you. Quit following these yahoos. And just like Scott, the truck driver, says, he does keto carnivore. I think he's still doing it anyway. It's been a while since I've seen one of his videos. He's another one that openly speaks out about all this stuff. He doesn't care about all these big name professionals and stuff like that. He just does it. He follows his journey. He does it his way, and he doesn't need to hear from every doctor so and so or nutritionist, dietitian so and so. He figured it out. Just get rid of the junk carbs and the starches and stuff like that, and get yourself into a level of ketosis, and you'll be fine. That's what it is. I used to argue against the fact that being in ketosis is not a carb count. There is no carb count in the definition of being in ketosis that is tailored to that. We've bastardized what that is. We keep claiming it's 20, it's 50, it's all this. No, it's not. There's no number that signifies this is what you need to have to be in ketosis. Absolutely nowhere. Show it to me. All these doctors claim that this is what it means, and no, it's not. That is not what it means. Reducing your sugar and your carb levels until you reach a level of ketosis is what ketosis is. That's what it is. It doesn't matter if it's 75, it doesn't matter if it's 30, it doesn't matter if it's 150. If you can get into a nutritional level of ketosis and consistently stay there, that's the healing power behind being keto. Having ketones present in the fuel, having them the more dominant fuel source. Being on a ketogenic diet, now we can revamp that and talk about that. 50, 30, 20, who cares? Do the best you can with what you got and try to achieve a level of nutritional ketosis and stick there if you can. And if you have to come out from time to time so your body doesn't get super used to it, then do it. I'm not saying you can't live that way long term, because you sure can. I did it for almost 2.5 years where I did nothing but everything perfect, and it only got me 140 pounds. And that's a lot, don't get me wrong. But it quit working. It quit working where I would stall for months on end and then I'd have to go into long periods of fasting because my body got used to it. When I went carnivore, I lost a few more pounds. I felt great on carnivore. I felt the best on carnivore overall. My ketone levels were not as high on carnivore. They're much lower. My body's using more ketones. It's becoming more efficient on using the food that I'm eating. And I'm amazed by the cult-like mentality from the keto groups. If you're not in, this keto group supporting this and you have something bad to say about them, you're a bad person because of it. Or if you're over here watching these videos or talking about this and it doesn't jive with everybody else, you're a bad person for it. I think anybody that thinks somebody can't speak their opinion on their video can kiss that person's backside, because that's their videos. And if you know the type of person they are and you don't get along with them, you just don't watch their videos. So, to answer the gentleman's question, again, for the third, fourth time now, on why I badmouth keto and people in the keto space, is because I find a lot of them are fake. A lot of them are frauds. A lot of them try to build this cult-like group mentality that is ridiculous, and it needs to be squashed completely. And we need to start figuring out what whole food keto is without the bars and the proteins and the following the excessive amounts of groups and things like that. We need to start going back to what whole food keto is and just sharing our journeys with each other. Quit with all the other junk and the selling products and everything else. If you use something and you like it, share it with other people. Sure, of course. But to get to the extent where you're dropping stuff maybe do one video a week where you share the products that you use with people. But to have something pop up every single damn video, oh my gosh, it's getting relentless. It is getting relentless. Anyway, that's why I openly talk about the keto community in the way that I do, because it's a lot of fake ass people, a lot of fake people, a lot of people that want you to believe that they have all the answers to everything, and they don't have the answers to a damn thing. It's a general recommendation: eat whole food keto, salt your food, eat plenty of butter, Butter is not even something you really have to eat. If you got fat attached to your food, like fatty steak, avocados, whatever it may be that you're eating, coconut oil, you don't even need to add butter to your food. Salt your food, eat whole food keto, hydrate, repeat. That's it. No products, no pills. A lot of things that people don't understand is when you take keto pills, you inhibit your level of lipolysis. Your body does not have a reason to start pulling its fat stores anymore. Your body does not have a reason to start breaking down stored body fat and utilizing it as ketones. Lipolysis is put on hold, and sometimes it can be a while before it comes back on board where you actually start using your own body fat as ketones or being broke down into ketones. So when you take the pills and drink the drinks and everything else, you're taking all these excessive ketones and you flood your blood, you flood your body with ketone levels, pills, powders, esters, whatever it may be. You have no reason to continue pulling fat from your body source. Lipolysis is inhibited. And when you do that, you change a lot of things in the body. It's not just lipolysis. You are now becoming on a diet or a supplemental source of producing ketones that your body, if you're having these twice a day, and some of these people are advertising their ketones are good enough to where all you have to do is drink them twice a day, no matter if you're eating carbs or not. They don't explain that part is when you're eating carbs and excessive amounts of fat and proteins and sugars and everything else while taking these pills and these drinks, you think the standard American diet was bad. It's going to be 10 times worse. Now you've got more than just the fuel sources before that were packing fat away on your body. Now you've got protein floating around, you've got fat floating around, you've got carbs and sugar floating around, and you've got ketones present. Your body's going to use the ketones first. But while everything else is there, if it doesn't have a need for anything outside of the ketones that's available in your blood, guess what's going to happen? The other shit gets packed away as fat. But people think that it's kosher. Just go ahead and drink the ketone products and the pills and stuff like that. But you inhibit lipolysis in the process. Your body stops its own natural way of producing and doing things and converting things because now you have an alternate fuel source that doesn't have to be made. People don't think about that kind of stuff though. They think, oh yeah, just keto rapid fire and this and that and all this other stuff. It's more junk pills. None of that crap works. None of it works. There's a girl on here that she's only got, I think, 100 subscribers or something like that, and she's been trying for years to get people to follow her. But that's one of the things that she talks about as well. She talks about using ketones and promotes it and stuff like that. So she wants other people to buy her Prove It Ketones. Prove It Ketones never did anything for me. I took Prove It Ketones to take them to be able to talk about them. I took a 1 week, 7-day trial. My ketones never rose. I never had an increase in energy levels and stuff like that outside of maybe some better electrolyte absorption because of the way the mixture and stuff was. But I never had any kind of significant increase of anything off of that. So then I said, I'm not going to talk bad about them yet. I'll try a couple different kinds. And I tried real ketones. Nothing at all. Then I tried the ketones from GNC, their brand that they sponsor now or something like that. Keto Logic. Yeah, Keto Logic. I tried their ketones. Nothing. Even messaged the company and said, this is pretty sorry for you guys to advertise like this. But then some people get no reaction from it at all. Nothing at all. You know why? Because on a ketogenic diet, as clean as I was, as much fat as I was eating, my ketone levels were already so high that I did not benefit from taking them. That's another thing that people don't realize. Just because you have excessive amount of ketones in the blood does not mean you are going to use them. You're going to piss a lot of them out. If your body doesn't need them, you're not going to use it. There's a number of reasons why having excessive amounts of ketones in the blood does not benefit you. Why do you think carnivores have 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6? They're using what they're eating. They're getting small forms of gluconeogenesis. Is a demand-driven process. They're getting no carbs, no fiber, no nothing from that stuff. Their body's able to utilize things a lot better. That's why they don't get the real high ketone spikes. That's why their blood sugar's stable almost all the time. Every time I showed you guys when I was on a carnivorous diet, My blood sugar was consistently between 80 and 95 all the time. Never even would get to it. Most of the time it was in the 80s. My ketone levels were 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, just barely in ketosis because I was using what I was eating. My body was able to digest it, almost no aftermatter. It was able to efficiently draw everything in and utilize it correctly without excessive amounts of energy sources floating around in the blood. So this level, this number and stuff that people are trying to always achieve by taking ketone supplements and stuff like that on top of the dietary foods that they eat, almost doing themselves no justice, no service at all. Don't inhibit lipolysis because you want to take ketone products or pills or esters, whatever it is. It's a lot of fake people. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of fake people present this stuff. They push this stuff. Those things can be used for people with dementia, Alzheimer's, MS, things of that nature that it can benefit from taking extra dietary ketones if they can't get their ketone levels up enough. Yes. Athletes can benefit from that. Yes. 99.9% of the people that you see with their ketone drinks and stuff in the pictures and they're promoting it, and you got your girlfriend on your keto page that's trying to get you to sell her products and stuff like that. Same thing happens on my keto or on my personal page all the time. People trying to sell this happy coffee and these pills and these dietary this and that. None of that crap works. None of it. You know why you get an effect from those pills? Because it got caffeine in it. Caffeine's going to make you get up and start moving and doing things. And yes, when you move and you do things and you become more active, your body's going to start moving things a little bit better. It's going to start helping shed some of those extra calories and weight and stuff like that. How many of you got girlfriends and dudes on your keto page that are constantly trying to promote some kind of coffee, some kind of pill, some kind of it works, some kind of something, and you know damn well, you sitting there watching, on your Facebook, that you want to say something and you can't because you know the crap doesn't work. Or you might even be one of the people that use it or promote it and you know it doesn't work. I had an admin back when I first started my first keto group, and she does the it works stuff or whatever the hell that stuff's called. And I said, Sandy, you know that stuff is junk, right? And she said, well, explain to me why. And I said, okay, let me break it down for you. That's what I'm saying. Stuff is junk. So I said, Sandy, let me break it down for you. Let's go online together and Google these things in the microgram amount that the body needs to actually see some kind of activation or see some kind of performance off of it. So let's go look at how much iron. Let's go look at how much manganese. Let's go look at how much horny goat weed it would actually take to affect somebody per dose. And then let's look at what's in your product. So I showed her. I took and brought up every single thing that showed the minimum dosage to show effectiveness in clinical lab trials of this, and this. And we broke down the entire product, every single ingredient in it. And every single ingredient that was in the pills were a fraction, an eighth, a sixth, a tenth of what the recommended amount to actually see some kind of effect or change off of it was. These products are out there to give you some energy and make you feel like they work when you could simply drink a black cup of coffee and get the same thing. Black coffee, a lot of people have realized over the last year that black coffee alone raises their ketone levels naturally more than taking an MCT oil, a ketone product, a pill, a powder, or any of that stuff. Just regular black coffee. I tried it. My ketone levels went up from 1.1 to 1.6 within 2 hours. Two Fit Docs. They have an excellent channel where they're completely honest and open about everything. They don't sell a bunch of products or anything like that. They're just completely honest about what they do. Love their stuff. Haven't watched it in a while, but absolutely love what they do. They did the same thing. They tried MCT oils, they tried butters, they tried sweeteners, they tried all this other stuff to see how it, and none of that stuff really works. None of it did. Even for them, same thing. He drank, I think her husband or she drank a cup of black coffee And her ketone levels did the same thing that mine did, went up like 0.3, 0.4 levels just off regular black coffee. They put MCT oil and stuff like that in. It did not get much of an increase at all. Nothing. I mean, really nothing. If anything, there were certain sweeteners that they said doesn't affect your insulin levels and your blood sugar levels, where they actually got some kind of reaction out of it, and then some of them were completely honest about what they did. There's just a lot of bad information out there. There's a lot of bad information, and people want your money, your hard-earned money. They want your money. They want it in their pocket, in their bank account, so they can live in their big house and drive their nice big old fancy car. Look at the freaking reverend guy or whatever that flies in these jets all over the place. People flock to this guy, flock to him. And he's got 3 or 4 jets, 2 or 3 jets or something like that he flies around in different countries and witnesses and does all this other stuff and lives in big extravagant homes and drives like Cadillac Escalades and Lexuses and everything else, and he feels good about what he does. How could you, as a Christian, call yourself somebody that's for the people and you're doing God's work? Now, I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. I'm just speaking openly here. Yet gloat and be gluttonous in the fact that you've got access to all this money and stuff like that, instead of giving it to people in need. Giving it to people that don't have homes, that don't have food in their country and stuff like that. You could easily go to a certain part of the country, fly in with your jet, take some contractors and stuff with you because you're already spending millions of dollars as it is, and actually bring a farm to a small community. Teach them how to farm. Teach them how to raise cattle. Show them how to fix what poverty that they're involved in, instead of being gluttonous, flying around in so many billions of dollar jets and just raking in all that money, and then calling yourself a Christian and a preacher and preaching God's word and doing what God wants you to do. And then put out videos and stuff all over the internet so people can donate and give more money for what you do. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's why that's why this world is so screwed up. That's why I'm against the keto community. Not in the entirety. That's why I often speak out about it. Because there's a lot of fake ass people. There's a lot of people that want your money. And you think they care about you. They don't care about you. They want your money. Anyhow, that's it, guys. That's my thoughts. I know it's probably going to make some people upset. I know there's probably going to be a ton of thumbs downs on this video. People are going to be pissed off, and they're going to cherry pick it and say you said this and you said that, and they're going to try to make fun of the situation and call me names and everything else. I don't care. I don't really care. This is what I think. This is what I know. This is my life. You guys are sharing it with me. And I just want to be here for you. If you got questions, if you need help with something, if you want me to help you create a meal plan so you don't have to take these pills, if you're deficient in vitamin D or whatever, sodium levels are too high or potassium levels are too low, and you need some help figuring out where you're going to get that stuff from, message me in the comment section here. You don't have to go to a meal plan to get that. You don't have to subscribe on Dr. Emma. You don't have to go to some keto group or some other YouTube channel, forever be friends for the rest of your life to be let down a year from now. Ask the question. You don't even have to subscribe to this channel if you don't want to. You don't even have to give it a thumbs up. You could give it a thumbs down and still ask me a question and admit that you gave me a thumbs down. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to help you. Because that's the kind of person I am. But at the same time, I would expect that you let me speak my mind and say what I have to say. If you need anything, let me know. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Be blessed.